Why does God allow suffering? What a classic question, right? Isn't that one that they ask all the holy men and the spiritual clergymen? Have you ever heard a good answer to it? I'm going to give you mine right now. I actually wrote it out in a somewhat humorous way. I think it's profound, though. I'll put it in the comments. But I was responding to the meme in my feed, actually years ago, came up as a memory. Why does God allow suffering? It asked. And I started off by saying, God so loved bacon, cheeseburgers, turducken at Thanksgiving, that God just couldn't envision an earth without the meat lovers special. You know how it is. But seriously, God doesn't allow suffering any more than you always wake your dog or your cat when you recognize that they're dreaming. God knows we're dreaming. And we're lost like Dorothy in Oz or any number of the classic movies where something like E.T. or Nemo is away from home and yearning to get back. How do we get back? That's why great teachers like Jesus and others, even before him and since, have pointed us in the direction of home, which is the kingdom of heaven within, as the Christ puts it. And the instruction is that we are to seek first, most importantly, the kingdom of heaven within, which is within you. And when asked how to pray, the first word he says is, Our Father. And Father, don't get hung up on the gender. It just represents the identity is shared, that image and likeness, the protective quality, the providing quality, the guiding, directing, protecting quality of what God is. When you, as the 91st Psalm says, He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, that is the one to whom the evils of the world cannot come near, that person. Just like the truth doesn't make anybody free, just floating around in the air. It has to be known. And so if we have a commandment, it would be, ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So what's the bondage that we need to be free from? Do you ask that much? Or are you too busy thinking that the bondage is just going to be so much better if only you had a little more money every month, or if only you had a child, or if only I got a new guitar? I mean, I know what it's like. We're always chasing like the mule, the carrot and the stick. It always requires time. It always requires the world. Somebody has to offer you something, give you something that you don't have already. It takes time. But it's a trick. The thing is what God wills, the things of God, the relationship of truth that you have with the kingdom within you. I call it the closer power. Because the truth about you is closer than even the feeling of your body. That's pretty close when you think about it, right? It's closer than your persona. Closer than anything my brain is going to try to tell me in my top of the hour practice period. It's my perfect spiritual self, and that's where my peace and joy has to come from. It's not going to come from outside. It can't come through the physical senses. You have to be able to shut those off for a moment, and that takes practice. And that's why I recommend the top of each hour, whenever you care to participate. Consistency adds up. And if you wanted to train to be an Olympic athlete, you'd have to be consistent and determined, and it takes all of that, because the world is so hypnotic, and even though it's not actually happening, it's very real to the body, very real to the personality. This is the world of body. and personality. And that's why we suffer, because we're wrongly identified, not only with skin, but with the whole, flesh puppet. The bone, the blood, the organs, the function, the past, the future, all of it, from the birthday to the death day and the little dash in between. It's all, by comparison with the heavenly realm, it is a suffering. And if we're wise, we find the lifeboat of spiritual awareness before getting in line for the buffet on the Titanic of seeming mortal existence. So that's why we meditate. You gotta rise above the thinking mind for even a good moment. Because when you are suffering, you are identified with the body, but the body, good news is not actually you. And that's why the significance of the cross. Why did God let his son suffer, so to speak? Why are we all suffering on the cross of seeming mortal existence? That's why Christ says, if you really want to follow me, pick up your cross, because in a sense, we have to die to the belief. What you think you are is a belief to be undone. What you really are has to be revealed to you within yourself. It's not just a belief that you can argue about, and wars, of course, have been fought over beliefs, but here's something for you. The word belief actually comes from two words, be life. Remember, English is a very new language. Be life became belief, and there's quite a difference in the significance and the meaning of no man comes unto the Father except, believing on him. In other words, be life on him, on earth as it is in heaven. Be life on him is different than just a mental activity that you can get offended about. Do you see that? Why does God allow suffering? So you can make the choice that this is not the world that you really want. But there is a world beyond this one that you do want. It's not a cop-out. You're not cutting and running on your cat or your dog or your kids or your husband or your spouse, and your willingness to let it all go. At the top of each hour, what you're doing is on behalf of everyone. You're gathering up toto, which means all in Latin. You're holding on behalf of the whole world, and you are ascending up on that vertical part of the cross and returning home to the heavenly kingdom, on behalf of everyone. Thy kingdom come. You're accepting that truth on behalf of everyone. And as you are lifted up in consciousness, you're drawing all unto you. You're doing it, on behalf of your children, your parents, your ancestors, and the future of humanity is under attack. We need people to be able to receive some degree of awareness of their actual spiritual freedom in God. So it's a different way of voting, it's a different way of participating, and you might never have to say anything out loud, but learn to be quiet, learn to be still. I know you've heard it a million times, but there's something there, and it's where the real joy comes from. Practice with me at the top of each hour. Any questions, I'm happy to answer them and help you to experience the peace that passeth understanding. It can't be discovered through words. We use words like the ladder to get to the roof. But once you get to the roof, you don't need the ladder for a while. That's what we want to get to in our prayer. Stillness. Be still. And stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Happiness and peace.